Most people think déjà vu is just a brain glitch, a brief static spark somewhere deep inside your head, a moment you feel twice for no good reason. But sometimes I wonder if déjà vu is the universe glitching instead. A crack in the walls of whatever this reality is, a reminder that we're living through versions of ourselves stacked on top of each other like layers of old wallpaper. And sometimes the old layer bleeds through. This is the story of the place that remembers me, even when I try to forget it. It started back in 2019. I just moved into a rundown apartment building in a forgotten corner of upstate New York. It was the cheapest place I could find on short notice. The whole building smelled like stale heat and old floor polish. The hallway lights buzzed overhead like dying insects. Half the doors looked like they'd been kicked in more than once, locks replaced with whatever the landlord could find at the hardware store. My roommate Eli worked nights, 12-hour shifts at a frozen food warehouse just outside town. So most nights, I was alone in that place. Just me, the buzzing lights, the hum of my mini fridge, and the soft clicking in the walls I told myself were just pipes. Old buildings make old noises. That's what I kept telling myself anyway. One Thursday night in early February, I came home later than usual. It had snowed that day, that wet, slushy snow that soaks your socks through your boots. I remember standing in the stairwell, stomping my feet dry on the landing, when a smell hit me so hard it made me stop cold. It was a strange mix, burned rubber and a sharp artificial lemon, like someone tried to clean up after burning something they shouldn't have been burning in the first place. The phased I smelled it, I felt my stomach twist, not just because it was weird, but because it triggered a memory that didn't feel like mine. A scene flickered in my mind, the hallway ahead, the flickering light above, the door 20 feet down. I hadn't dreamed this, I hadn't imagined this, but somehow, I remembered this hallway exactly as it was, like a movie I'd seen too many times. Set back halfway down the hallway when the déjà vu hit me full force. Not just a passing chill, but a heavy wave that pressed on my chest like I couldn't breathe. I knew what was about to happen. The light above would flicker twice. A woman's voice would echo up from the first floor, something muffled and a laugh that didn't sound right. Then, from the far end of the hallway, a dull metallic thud, something heavy hitting the floor. And in the space of a few seconds, all of it happened, exactly as I knew it would. The light buzzed and blinked twice, a voice below, half a sentence, and a dry laugh. Then, at the far end, that sound like a pipe wrench or a crowbar hitting concrete. I don't know how long I stood there. I remember my breath showing up white in the cold hallway air. I remember how quiet it was after the noise faded, like the whole building was holding its breath with me. Zhao told myself maybe I'd dreamed it, maybe I was overtired, maybe my brain was playing tricks. That's what normal people tell themselves. I did too, until it happened again the next night. Though I was sitting on the couch, TV flickering, half-eaten Chinese food sweating in the takeout box on my lap. The remote was warm in my hand, my phone face down on the nightstand. And then, that same heavy feeling settled in my chest. I knew what was about to happen. The line of dialogue from the TV, the distant siren outside, the exact second my phone would buzz with a text from Eli asking if I'd fed his cat. I wrote it all down. 5 for 5, 10 for 10. Night after night, I tested myself. And each time, I was right. Every flicker, every knock on the door, every word on the TV. I wasn't remembering things I'd already lived. I was remembering things before they happened, or maybe they already had happened and I was just catching up. And by the fifth night, I stopped sleeping. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw something new. A trail in the woods I didn't know. A broken fence half buried in snow. A tree with a hollow big enough to hide your hand in. And at the end of that trail, always the same house. 2 stories, green paint peeling off like old skin, dead vines clawing up the siding, a broken window on the second floor that looked blacker than the night around it. Finally, one Saturday, I couldn't take it anymore. I called Eli at work and told him we were going hiking when he got home. Didn't matter that it was freezing out or that neither of us had been out there before. I needed to see if the dream was real. And that afternoon, we were trudging down that same trail, and with every step, the déjà vu got stronger. The broken fence post, exactly where I knew it'd be. The hollow tree, so real I could smell the damp rot inside. Eli joked that I'd probably been here drunk before and didn't remember, but I knew I hadn't. Seated, end of the trail, stood the house, slumped in the trees like it had been waiting for us. Green paint peeling off in flakes that drifted across the snow. The front step cracked in two, the upstairs window, just like the dream. Eli wanted to check it out. I wanted to turn around and run until my lungs bled. But the pull was stronger than the fear. I followed him inside. It smelled like damp wood and old ashes. The Eli followed him and bended him on the description. The air was so heavy it made my ears ring. Broken furniture half buried in fallen plaster, wallpaper peeled back in ragged strips, a fireplace choked with something black and oily, and that hallway, dark, narrow, ending in a single door that felt like it was breathing. I didn't even mean to say it, but my mouth moved on its own. "I've been here before," Eli laughed, until we heard it. A soft, deliberate creak from above us, like someone shifting their weight on old floorboards. He dared me to go up there. I dared him back. We argued in that stale dark until somehow we found ourselves climbing the staircase together, each step moaning like a warning. At the top, one door, cracked open just enough to see nothing. Eli pushed it wider while I stayed back, my heart hammering in my throat. Inside, a woman stood facing the window, her hair gray and thin, her shoulders bent like she'd been waiting forever. When she turned, Eli screamed, the raw, panicked sound of an animal that knows it's already dead. We didn't talk about it. We just ran. Down the stairs, out the door, through the trees until the cold air sliced our faces raw. We didn't stop until the house was gone behind us, swallowed by trees and snow. I moved out 3 months later. Got a job at a nursing home overnight. Anything to stay awake, anything to keep busy. I thought the déjà vu was done with me. But then, I met Miss Adelaide. She was old, gentle, and sharper than anyone gave her credit for. She'd hum to herself at night, staring at the ceiling like she was watching a film only she could see. One night, around 2 a.m., I found her wide awake, eyes locked on mine. "You shouldn't have gone back to the house," she whispered, her voice like dry paper. "You shouldn't have followed the smell." I asked her what she meant. She just smiled, thin and sad. This version doesn't end well. It never does. Nights later, she was gone, passed in her sleep at the same time I always found her awake. After that, the flickers came back, lights buzzing overhead, echoes of footsteps in empty hallways, my own voice saying words I hadn't thought yet. Beef sometimes when I dream, I see that house waiting for me at the end of the trail, the smell of burned rubber and lemons curling under the door. And I know one night I'll follow it again, because maybe déjà vu isn't a memory at all. Maybe it's the place remembering me, dragging me back through its walls like peeling wallpaper I can't scrape away. Next time the hallway light flickers, I don't know if I'll keep walking or if I'll stop and open the door at the end. And if I do, I wonder which version of me I'll find waiting on the other side.